choosing to study can be a big decision. Choosing what to study can be even bigger. So today I'd like to take you through all the different qualification levels and titles out there so that you can help decide what qualification might be right for you. Now, all qualifications recognised in Australia are outlined by the Australian Qualifications Framework, or the AQF, and I'll link to their website so that you can look for further details if you would like. Now, post-secondary certificate, or Year 12, or your HSC, whatever you'd like to call it, there are 10 further levels of study that you can continue on to. Now, generally speaking, level 1 to level 6 are offered by the vocational education and training sector by registered training organisations. Now, some of those registered training organisations may also be able to deliver a level 8 qualification in a grad certificate or a grad diploma as well. Higher education providers tend to deliver from the associate degree at level 6 all the way up to level 10. So when you are looking at different levels, make sure that you go to the right institution to be able to help you out. The first level of qualifications are your Certificate 1s and your Certificate 2s. These are often delivered by schools or employment service providers as a taster to get into an industry. They usually qualify you quite well to get into entry-level positions if you have no prior experience, and they usually take between 6 months to a year. Your trade-level qualifications are the ones that we most recognise in the vocational education and training sector. They're your trade quals. So if you wanted to work in children's services, you would have a Certificate 3 in children's services, a Certificate 3 in aged care work, a Certificate 3 in carpentry. All of those sort of Certificate 3 level qualifications get you that skilled role. So generally at this level you can work independently, you have a very specific skill set, like a hairdresser, etc. And they're often a requirement to be able to get into that job as well. Now, once you are pretty good at that trade level, often you will move on to that Certificate 4. These are our first level supervisors, team leaders, senior staff that tend to help others complete basic KPIs while still being technical operators themselves. Now, these qualifications usually take 6 months to 2 years, depending on your prior experience. Level 5 and Level 6 qualifications is where you really start to get that higher end technical knowledge. You will dig deeper into different theories. You're often able to create specific policies, procedures from scratch, whereas usually your Certificate 4s and below tend to follow pre-existing policies. And these qualifications will usually take you 1 to 2 years, depending on your prior experience. A bachelor's degree is normally the first degree you get out of school, so often referred to as an undergraduate degree. This is where you really start to look at theoretical knowledge, a history of why things are the way they are, and an ability to be able to interpret data. It usually takes 3 to 4 years to complete a bachelor's degree. Level 8 is taking that bachelor's level of knowledge and developing it further. So if you go in and do your honours degree, then that's usually an extra year on your qualification, and it will allow you to dig deeper and have more advanced skills within that industry that you're looking at. Postgraduate certificates and postgraduate diplomas are more about a deeper understanding of specific skill sets. So sometimes you can get into these postgrad degrees without having the direct bachelor's prior. You'd really need to have a look at what the entry requirements are for those qualifications. These courses usually take 1 to 2 years. Now, level 9 is your master's, and a master's can be done either through research, coursework, or through an extended degree. Here you'll develop a more expert understanding of your specific skill set, and you will be able to share knowledge and information between both other professionals as well as outside audiences. And a master's degree will normally take you either 1 to 4 years, depending on how it's delivered and how fast you want to get through it. Level 10 qualifications are your doctoral degrees. Now, these can be done through research. So if you did a Doctor of Philosophy, that's your PhD. It's usually a study where you will find new ideas. A professional doctoral degree will make you a doctor of something. Either way, a level 10 qualification allows you to bring new ideas to your industry. So here you start to advance the entire profession rather than just researching what others have done. A PhD or a doctoral degree will usually take you 3 to 4 years. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of qualifications out there with a lot of different outcomes. So the key things that you need to ask yourself when deciding which qualification is for you are, is the qualification a requirement for the role that you're looking for? And if it is, maybe that's the best qualification to start with. Do you have more of a career plan that will require future qualifications? And if so, can you start looking at that pathway now as to what you might need to get into those later qualifications? Now, does the qualification for your next role have prerequisite or entry requirements before you're allowed to start? So if you're looking at some of those postgraduate courses, even some diplomas will require you to complete specific units from Certificate 4 qualifications or have specific work experience to get you there. So you really need to have a look at that and see what those prerequisites are. And the last one is, do you need to complete these prerequisites now, or can you build up to them into the future? So sometimes a bachelor's degree, if you don't have your HSC or your secondary certificate, you may be able to get entry if you complete a diploma or something along those lines. So this is the time that you do a bit of research and really see what is the best option for you and for your future path. Now, I hope today's session has helped you understand a little bit more about how the qualifications work. And if you do have any other questions about them, please drop me a line. I'd love to be able to help you out. And I can also help you research any of these questions along the way as well.